Welcome back to our pregame show. The Oskaloosa boys taking on Fairfield tonight with a trip to the state tournament on the line in this sub-state championship game. Oskaloosa coach Ryan Parker joins me now, and the Indians getting to this stage with a nice win over Washington last Thursday night. It was a game where it was kind of nip and tuck for one quarter, but in the second and third quarters, you really put it away.
Yeah, I thought, they came out and played hard. Well, that is Washington, and we knew they would. They did a couple of things to us, doubling the post. We've seen a lot of that all year, and Tyler Miller really had a good night for us. It wasn't anything special we were doing. It's just something we've done sort of all year long. They were doubling off Tyler and teach him to basket cut, and our post found him around the rim, and Tyler had a really nice game offensively as well as defensively.
And Cole Henry found him a few times with no-look passes in that situation, and part of a strong offensive night for Cole, too, with 25 points.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where it was good to get Cole back in the swing of things. He didn't play much versus South Tama in foul trouble, but then, it wasn't just his scoring, but his passing as well. And, getting him on the floor means a whole lot to us. Not just offensively, but defensively, and breaking the press and doing a lot of different things. So he means a lot to this team. And then obviously him scoring his 1,000th point. I think he's the fourth or fifth player in Oskaloosa basketball history to score 1,000. So that's a big deal.
And it certainly is, and he has a chance to add to that tonight, and hopefully more next week at state. But got to get first things first here. And one other thing I want to talk about going back to Thursday night was also a third quarter. You held them to just 5 points, 2 baskets.
Yeah, our defensive intensity in the second half was one of the things we talked about at halftime. I thought our offense was good in the first half. We scored 40 or 41 points it was. But our defense, wasn't exactly where we wanted it to be, and sort of giving up buckets at the rim, especially to Turner. And so we shored some things up and made some changes at halftime, and it really paid dividends in the second half.
Now Fairfield tonight, a team you faced before back on opening night, but as you were saying to me after the game on Thursday, your team really isn't the same as it was back in November.
Yeah, I think there's I've said this all along, and honestly from the first game till now, is I always said that I thought we would be a different team after Christmas break. We only returned Cole and Xavier out of the starting lineup from last year, and then Ryan, who played a lot of minutes for us. But all those other guys were sort of learning on the fly. And, you look at Fairfield, they returned, I think, 5 starters from last year, which is a big deal. Continuity-wise, and a lot of the stuff you run, you don't have to work on. And that sounded a little bit like us going into last year. We returned everybody, and you saw what kind of year we had. But I think we're completely different. You watch that Fairfield film from the first time we played. We shot a lot of jumpers. We were sort of soft in the first half. This second half of the year, especially after Christmas break, we really have fed the post and worked with 7 foot and 6'10" a lot better than we did the first half of the year.
Now, on the other side of the coin, what's Fairfield like? Are they different from what they were back in November?
Yeah, so they are a little bit. We probably have 6 or 7 films on them, and we've watched it, our entire coaching staff, our kids. One thing they're doing a lot more is full court pressure. They're running that diamond and 1 press, little 1-3-1 half court action, and then some 2-3 zone and some 3-2 zone. When we played them the first time, it was all straight half court man-to-man. And they're doing those things really well. Probably the majority of their offense is their full court press, turning people over, getting buckets, easy buckets. So one of the keys for us tonight is to make sure that we don't turn the ball over in the full court and hand them buckets. If we can play a half court game, we'll be in much better shape.
What will be some other important things tonight?
Obviously, it's always the energy effort thing. Post touches, we got to work through our posts. Not turn the ball over in the full court, giving them easy buckets. Rebounding, we both average around 33 rebounds a game. So, to me, that tells you that's going to be a battle on the boards. But I think one of the things, this is our 3rd straight sub-state final. And that experience, whether the kids can play in it or not, is going to be a big deal for us. We also play in front of packed houses at home and on the road, and I don't expect anything different tonight. So I think those experiences will help us going into tonight.
All right, we'll see what happens. Best of luck.
All right, thank you, Joe.
That's Ryan Parker, coach of the Oskaloosa Indians boys. We'll have a break, and then we'll come back with Oskaloosa taking on Fairfield, the 3A Sub-State 5 Championship. We'll be back in 2 minutes on KBOE FM and the No Coast Network.